My mom had her best friend, they had an apartment next to the university's right? And they promised they'd see each other once a year, like my dad and friends. And they were both on students at the university. So.
All right, Jerry, we are recording.
I stayed on 15th Street.
Did you?
Yeah, they stayed.
There's somebody else coming up. I'm here. The door.
Okay, welcome to the Borough Council meeting on the 5th. We're going to reconvene. In attendance, we have Mrs. Grady isn't here yet, Ms. Simrel. Present. Solicitor Frolak,
Present.
Mr. Guzza,
Present.
Josh Mitchell.
Here.
Mayor Kelly.
Here.
Borough Manager Kim Bathorega.
Here.
Jean Hallinan.
Here,
Bob Shields is going to be late, but he will be here. And Kevin isn't here. Under old business, we have the Laura DeFazio Memorial on 9/11. And we've been going through a lot with this. Jen, if you want to.
So in your packet, we have the picture. We have a few different, ideas generated. I did speak with, I have been emailing, the DeFazio brothers. And I did get one response from Craig. They talked about, he said something about liking the two tower effect. And, so that's what we went with here. It is a cost of $2,500. It does include these solar lights. There will be a planting there, and I did indicate that we need this done by September 9th. I thought that would make sure that we get this done. I don't know exactly when we're gonna do our honoring the memorial. So that's what we have before us, and council wants to discuss or vote.
So the price is
It is still-
$2,500?
Yes, it is 25. It did not change. It is 25.
That seems like a really good price.
That's
You got another
reasonable.
quote that was a lot higher, right?
It was
For the
twice
two
as much.
Yeah.
pillars, it was 11,000 something, yeah.
Yeah.
And they did want the two pillars, so that's what I thought that might
The
be.
DeFazios, we want to go along with what they
Mhm.
want.
And we
Yeah.
saved,
Definitely.
we saved the $12,000 with Mr. Parasol taking down the clock, so we saved a substantial amount that was budgeted for this year.
And they may well end up contributing some amounts anyway, so even if
They absolutely.
we're well within budget on this
Agreed.
whole thing in the end.
Sure.
Exactly.
The only thing that I noted in their email was that they suggested selling bricks, and with the timing, trying to do this before September 11th, that seems to me to be impractical. I don't know if that can be done later on, but at least for this initial build, that seems not.
I
practical.
did indicate to them that that would not work with time as of right now. That would really not be feasible right now. Obviously, if we want to get this done and to have this look, if we wanted to do something in the future, if council wants to set up a committee or something, we can go forward. I don't know what the cost would be, who would install. So I figured if we could get this all together, that would be great. If they want to move forward with something like that, and we could talk about donation, you know, we'll just keep in touch with them, and I'll let council know. if there's
Unless those boys want to spearhead a committee like that.
Mhm.
You know?
Sure,
We definitely could work with them on that too.
absolutely, yeah. We can, we'll stay in contact.
DeFazios and council members. We could work with them and certainly set up some kind of a project with the bricks and everything. But I think we had also mentioned to have a committee because on 9/11, we wanted to have a service at the DeFazio Memorial at the park. And she was a graduate of Abington. And Chris Schaefer would be more than happy to. This is on Friday, right, Jen?
The 11th is on Friday.
So if we could have someone from the band or somebody come, you know, and play a couple, you know, God Bless America, anything, just a nice tribute to her and
It would be best to have a committee to work on that.
definitely,
So I don't
yeah.
know, I don't know who wants to.
I'm willing to work on it too, so. Whatever. Whoever else. can Work on it, we could definitely. And
And-
it's important for all council members to be there on the 11th, you know, to pay our respect and everything to them. 'Cause,
I mean, I can keep everybody updated with emails, obviously, what time,
that would be
but
good.
to get all of it, to get it organized with people coming, whoever wants to do that is,
Okay.
would use a point person on that.
And so Holgate Heroes is prepared to do this like immediately if we
Yes.
approve this?
And Jen, they're aware that it has to get done by the 11th. Are they okay adding a time is of the essence clause into that contract to make sure it's completed by that date?
So I didn't use that exact language, but I said, I said this needs to be done by the 9th, September 9th, because we want this to be, we're gonna have the ceremony on the 11th. So if there's anything that needed to be done. Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can, but yeah, I have their contract. It does not say that in the contract, so I could go over that with you.
Yeah, I would just ask they include that within the contract so we can ensure that it's completed for that date that we're planning on that. Just so they're legally bound by that contract for completion.
Okay. I can, okay, I'll go over this with you tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll make a motion then that we approve the proposal.
I'll second it.
Now the question? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, favors have it. So we'll move forward and get the committee going, working with the DeFazios and get the whole ceremony all set up in January. Okay?
Yes, I don't know what committee, who's gonna do it. That's the only thing I need to make sure, is that somebody else.
Yeah,
To organize the day, is that what you're?
Yeah, to
Yeah.
organize the
I can
event.
help, and my daughter's in, takes band in school, so maybe I can have her mention it.
oh, okay.
Because we have Jerry and Kathleen as of right
Because
now.
Schaefer works very well. with
Yeah,
it, So
yeah,
I think he
perfect.
definitely will cooperate with us. on
And
that.
it's a beautiful area for her friends and family.
I think it is too. It's ideal. Okay. And then, we had no executive session prior, during, or subsequent. And we have motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Now we're gonna step forward with our Borough Council meeting, our work session tonight. In attendance, we have Kathleen Several,
Present.
Borough Manager Jen.
Here.
Steve Guzzo,
Present.
Josh Mitchell.
Here.
Mayor Kelly.
Here.
Jean Hallinan.
Here.
And Solicitor Clay.
Here.
Under public comment, we have, Joe, we're going through the CDBG.
Good evening, council. Pleasure also again. I'm here to just basically go over the CBG program and the current positive status that Park Zone is in, and some recent updates regarding several projects that I've developed for past two to 3 years. Blackhawk County Department of Economic Development is the administrative agency of the CBG program. We have 11 entitlement communities, with Clark Zone is one, and we have numerous non-entitlement communities. The CBG program basically has to address 3 major national objectives: prevent low and moderate income persons to the aid in the prevention of elimination of slums or blight, or meet what's called an urgent community development in need. In terms of Clark Zone Borough, right now, for the past 2 or 3 years since we've taken over, we work with various stakeholders like Mr. Spatz and Highland Associates to find eligible projects in Clark Summit. Due to the nature of Clark Summit Borough, it's very challenging to find projects for Clark Summit because of the low and moderate income areas. The Central Tract, Clark Summit does not really fall into many of those low and moderate income areas. However, right now Clark Summit for the first time we've had 5 active projects, some forward development right now. The senior center, we recently went out to bid about 2 months ago, came in way over budget. It came in the project that was proposed by Highland and At the time came over at a number, I can't remember the top, but it basically would drain your entire account. So at that point in time, we did a modification process to split that into 2 phases. As of today, the senior center, phase 1 was approved by the state, and that has the cost estimate of $77,160. That is the first phase of a 2-phase senior center project. That has been redesigned by Mr. Spatz and Highland Associates. Second phase, we don't have right now, because Highland Associates has not produced the cost estimate yet. But that's fine, because we're still okay with the first phase of the senior center project. Next week, actually, at the Hillside Park Pavilion, construction is scheduled to start for the Hillside Park Pavilion concrete restoration project. And that came in at a contract price at $15,349. Also, other good news, the ADA accessible door, which is the door that you would enter this for the elevator, was also approved by the state today, which has an estimate of $8,453 overall. And again, those are estimates. Hopefully, I mean, they may come in at a competitive bidding, but they may come high, may come in low. Depends on the competitive bidding process when they go out to bid. And which was approved by the state last year, and still could be acted on whenever council wishes, is there's a State Street crossing project that has a cost estimate of $127,344. And that is just an estimate, but at the same time, that project right now is also cleared by the state and can be acted upon our end for competitive bidding process whenever council decides to move forward in that project. So having said that, next year council will be getting the borough will be getting 105,501 for additional CBG projects. And you'll have, after we get through all these legacy issues of having to spend money very quickly, you'll have to 2028 and 2030 to spend all your funds. So after we get through those issues in February, you'll have plenty of time to either change projects or find new directives or move forward up to 2030 to actually spend these funds available to you. And I do believe I emailed you the budget this afternoon. You have so there's yes, yeah, there it is. So that's after you get past the senior center project, will be that you guys will be in great shape to plan or change or modify if needed, or add additional projects that encompass the CBG funds up to 2030, which is a long time from here. So having said that, again, you have 5 previously approved projects and some flexibility in terms of budgets that will take you out to 2030 for whatever projects you may have down the line. That's again a discussion for council or the future or current or the past. It's been a very long. I appreciate council support and try to get to spend the money. And we're not, we're in a position now where Clark Summit will be not sending any money back to the federal government. And that was a problem in the past. That's because it wasn't planning, but there's been some great effective planning, and I'm rushing over things. And so now everyone's in a strong position for Clark Summit to use this money, which is hard to spend because it's very restricted. But at the same time, it's finally in a position where you guys are in a position of strength. So that's really what I just wanted to convey, and congratulate council and leadership to get to that point, and we'll keep on pushing forward because we want to ever delay again. So
Exactly, you're right on that.
and I do know we have received some questions from the Councilman Shields this afternoon. He's not here. He sent an email from office for some questions about an Abington Library project. I do respond to him regarding some the project he put since Abington Libraries has it serves multiple communities other than Clark Summit Borough. That causes a problem. Since Clark Summit money has to go to primarily the Clark Summit residents. So if it has to be, there has to be some kind of tracking and other things that would lead to any kind of joint sort authority would be sort of prohibitive. But again, right now the current status wise, you do have 5 projects locked in. They're all fundable after the minor hiccup we have with the recent senior center project. And the good news is we won't be sending any money back to the federal government, and everything else will be moving forward very soon. So as Highland gets us the bid books, we'll be out to bid for the 2 projects for the senior center and the ADA door. And we'll keep on moving that forward. So just waiting on Highland Associates.
So Joe, if I can, I have 1 or 2 questions.
Sure.
A little bit of context for everybody first. So the senior, I think we had approved, it was a total of about $200,000, I believe,
Mhm.
that we had approved toward what was originally the package. Senior
Yes,
Center
package senior center, yes.
And then came in well over that bid.
Well over the bid,
Which
yes.
is, so really, phase one and phase two are repackaged portions. of-
Absolutely, repackaged,
It already
and Mr. Spatz and Highland did cut some minor things out to get the line budgets. And I'm also not saying anything negative, but the problem with the senior center in many cases, that package you guys put together, Highland Associates was issuing addenda.
Yeah.
The day of the advertisement.
Yeah, it was bad.
And also on July 4th, on a holiday, and also on Juneteenth. So it became an issue where all these contractors were getting information pretty much 24, 40 hours before the actual bid opening. So there's a chance if they had earlier access to it, they would be able to adjust their bid prices, but they never had the chance. It came in way over, it would have drained all your CBG funds for years to come. So, well, luckily though, credit to Mr. Spatz and Highland, they were able to pivot very quickly and cut that basically in half and redefine it to the point where it's also approved again and more manageable faction. So that was, that was a very, quick turnaround because we want to lose the money. So yes, you're absolutely correct. The money was approved, but the process was nowhere near what, I think it was almost double what was in the estimate. So that
So
was
when
unfortunately would have drained everybody.
So there's just a reminder for everybody here that we've already basically committed to those projects. They've had to be repackaged and rebid.
Yes.
And as another further reminder, the park pays the engineering fees for Highland Associates. We're taking a little bit more of a measured approach there because we are paying for that engineering out of our budget, and we only budgeted for a portion of that for this fiscal year. And that work, I think, is being done by Nagley and whatnot, correct? So we will have to budget the further portion of that engineering next year to complete that work.
Right.
So that is the likely timeframe.
The good news of that project, as you mentioned, that project is on the state level is approved. So whenever you guys have that your side on place, we can go out, that's ready to roll with that one too. And like I said, there's funding in the future in the line that want to apply to certain things. There's no rush on that because again, 2030 is out the way.
Yeah.
But we through your work and also you've been heavily involved in these discussions the past 2 years especially. We've kind of cleared up the old money that's been sitting there for a long time.
Yeah.
And for the borough, that's going to be great news for them in the end, not having to send it back to the federal government. And that's finally a strong position to be in. So
can I, if you have an answer to this, great. If you're not sure, then that's fine.
Sure.
But in terms of this crosswalk project, because what we just talked about, approving the work with Holgate Heroes, we have some budget still left over for what we budgeted that we could, if we wanted to, allocate toward the crosswalk project and probably get that moving now. My question for you is, I think in talking to Mr. Spatz, one of his concerns with how the senior center bidding came together is that it was just a bad time to go to bid for that kind of work. Contractors are busy, so they're not as eager to get projects and therefore their prices are higher. So my question for you is, as we look at the crosswalk project, do you have any advice for us for when we ought to go to bid on that so we get the best pricing?
see, in that case, I know you said that I would actually disagree with him. Because we had several projects at other boroughs and municipalities, and at the same time, that the bid prices came in lower. We had more competitive, we had 11 bid products. I mean, the only thing that really hurt this process with the senior center was the lack of time to prepare bids.
Yeah.
And contractors, we went from 37 contractors interested, maybe 11. That was because they became so aggravated by the last minute addendums. The actual bid package itself had information that had from the Oswego School District initially, from Highland Associates. And had things that are projects that were copy and pasted from other projects that were nothing to do with these bid packages. And really, he's probably right. He's in the engineering field, so he probably knows. But in terms of our aspect, recently we've had some projects coming very much under bid. And
The concrete was well under budget in the end.
it's really kind of a roll of the dice in the case.
Okay,
We don't really know.
So there's
No, it's
no strong feeling on that question for you?
no, he could be right, he could be wrong, we don't really know, but based off some recent projects, again, they've come under bid. At the same time frame. And this whole thing became very complicated for the contractors, and I think that's what kind of really hurt the initial package deal. We have, for example, originally we had 7 electrical contractors, at the bid opening, we had 2. So that's 5, and there's only so many contractors that will do this stuff work, and that's just because they won't give us feedback, but this one, If they're not bidding, they're obviously something, a reason why they don't think they make money, or they can't produce the product, or they're aggravated. It is a busy time of year. He's right too. It's very tough to get, this is construction season and it's bidding season, but at the same time, I think these companies are obviously gonna try to do the best they could. But again, and Mr. Spatz is great at handling all these people. I mean, Highland, was very tough sometimes with their communication with some people. Mr. Spatz always kind of jumped in and pushed things forward. So I will give him all the credit in the world for all his dedication to this borough and the project. So hopefully these two new phases will work out well.
So I have one last question for you.
Sure.
That's just, is the allocation for fiscal year 2026, is that at all at risk?
No,
Is that already budgeted? That's already appropriated?
you'll have that at some point.
The reason I ask is because my understanding is that in the president's budget,
No, we're
CDBG has again.
we're good for
slashed.
these, the Congress authorized this for 26 and 27, so you'll have an allocation in 27 as well. By that time, there'll be another election year, so CBG is safe again. That's with the work of Congress, and so you'll be getting that, and that's a pretty large increase for Clark. 105 is a pretty solid increase. It was one of the highest, other than Dunmore, you guys are number 2 in terms of the allocation list, I believe.
Why is that?
It goes by census data.
I don't think our population changed.
And that's another mystery. Nobody ever understands how it happens, but Dunmore's always number 1, and Clarkson this year's number 2 in terms of allocations. So that's a good problem to have, but at the same time, it doesn't. That would tell us this comes right from the federal government. So you guys will have that money, also 27 money coming the year after. So yes, hopefully we'll keep on going forward. Yes, for that.
That's all I have. Thank
And
you.
it's also, the program is also preserved at least through the next presidential election. So all is good with that. I will say again, Fred, I mean, you've been hearing about your team and also yourself really getting all these projects going forward. It's been really nice to have that support from yourself and the council, and Mr. Spatz, who does a lot of work for pro bono, as you mentioned, especially in Hillside Park.
Yeah.
So he's an asset.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe.
A question there on the library thing, Joe, that you brought up earlier, I guess that you were talking to Bob about, you had mentioned, I guess, the fact that there's other municipalities involved.
Yes.
Isn't that the same kind of situation really with the senior center and Hillside as well, that there are also other
Depends.
communities there?
It is, but there was an effort maybe about 2 years ago to collect data to be able to demonstrate what portion of
Yes.
those patrons are Clark Summit residents.
That is correct, because
It's
I believe it's managed by the area agent of aging, and they collect data on the residents.
The library would have to do the same thing.
They have to do the same thing also,
Yeah.
they'd have to be able to, the work that the library sent to us was different, completely different than what the senior center wanted to do. I think Councilman Shields, I sent them an email today about the work the library proposed, and would not fall into the same category of what the senior center did.
Would it have to be isolated to serve either handicapped or senior citizens?
Actually,
And some portion of those
that-
be?
It would basically, they were asking for things that had to do with flood remediation, also it's a wetland, which also opens up a lot of different issues. It wasn't involved with the certain, it had to prove the LMI population. Senior centers are presumed benefits. So seniors are presumed benefit, they can get, that opens up a whole flood of things and things they can do with it. Library is not targeted towards a presumed benefit, which is 60 years old and plus. So you have to be able to prove the only people using those services, for example, we're providing are 60-year-old and over, which is impossible. So that's why the senior center makes things a lot more easy to do versus a library or facility like a daycare, things of that nature. Certain communities have the luxury, since they're out of my area, they can do what they want. The Clark Summit in this area is not, once you go below 51% low to moderate income, you can spend your money pretty much, like City of Scranton can spend their money on anything. But we don't have those communities in Clark Summit or even any jurisdiction like my county besides Scranton and Carbondale. So it's very tough. We had a lot of data tracking and free data tracking to prove that whatever services we're doing or work we're doing benefits a specific population. And that's about some of the challenges of the library. And in terms of, also it's just strange too, which you found out, is library is called a public service. And some of the ideas the library sent to us are capped at 15%. So for example, the $105,000 we get in 2026, if we did project the library, that's based off what they've sent me already, their ideas, only 50% of that funding can go to those services. That's because their ideas that they sent to us, while we're not really construction based for the most part, they're more service based, like a person, an employee, or some services for the senior or people that are there. So there's caps on public service. So that makes it challenging too of public service with CDBG. So again, we went through that process as well. And the reason originally we didn't, when we had the situation with the senior center originally, there was very little funding available. So again, it's hard to, give funding or promise funding or even look at funding when there's dollar zero or negative. So that's why today I emailed Councilman Shields with our initial analysis, and we'd be happy to continue that discussion and turn it over to the state. But again, we did that as well, and that was our initial feedback as well. Again, there's a lot of data tracking. There's years of data tracking to get involved because again, it has all the communities involved in the library, and you have to sort of restrict it to certain populations. And that'd be very difficult. You have to hire somebody to kind of manage the thing. And it gets very crazy with CPG. True story, recently we tried to build a handicap accessible playground in Jessup Borough. And we were told the borough would have to hire somebody to monitor the playground to make sure the people using it were of that background. That is, the case. Councilman Shields, I emailed you this afternoon as well.
I saw it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
That's all I have. Everybody else has been very on, you guys were very tired, so.
Thank
Any other
Thank
questions
you
or?
for all the information. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks.
I appreciate it. I'm glad we helped you guys. Great borough and keep things well forward. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Take care. And John, I'll be in touch with you all the information for the contracting for those two projects.
Great.
And as soon as we get to the pilot, thank you so much.
Sure, thank you.
Have a good night. Take
Appreciate
care.
it. Take
Have
care.
a good night.
Oh, good. Awesome. Terrific.
Do we have anyone else who would like to address council? I take it you're from the library.
I'm Allison,
right?
yeah, and that answered some of my questions.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's way down.
Oh, here you go.
That's fine. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Shields didn't sign it.
Oh, he was. Wes, I'm sorry, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
thank you, Joe. Okay. For discussion, we have our open container ordinance.
It was advertised and we'll start the meeting next week with any public comments on that.
Okay, great. The next is our police personnel.
I didn't know if anybody wanted to discuss this. We've been talking about some numbers. We were talking about going into an executive session to discuss the numbers. So I just didn't know how I wanted to discuss any more with it or just wait till we go into that.
Probably wait.
Okay, I would agree with that too. All right, the next is the Parks Green Police Contract.
So we're gonna talk about some numbers related to that in executive session as well, but what I will share in this context is, I have been in touch with Bill Egan. I talked to him last week and, he expressed to me, that they were eager for some numbers, so that's why I have some things for us to review tonight in
Oh, good.
executive session. We'll be able to probably get him something here by the end of the week and we can start to move through that process pretty rapidly, I expect.
Better sooner than later, right? Definitely. The next is our paving plan.
Just wanted to let you know, the Cole Nagley is working on a long-term paving plan for budgeting purposes, so
Great.
we'll have that.
Do they have a time frame on that?
I had a couple weeks.
Okay, so it'll be in line with our budgeting.
It will.
Cycle.
Yep, we should be right on target. I have September 19th event on there. I have not gotten an application. You can basically disregard. Just disregard. I thought it was gonna be in more of discussion tonight, but I didn't get the application, so you can disregard.
Okay. Police,
I got the numbers in. For our MMO, this is just Jerry has to be authorized to sign it next week.
So this I know, I don't know if you actually, did you have this number when you sent me the budget information earlier
No,
today?
we just got these.
We just got it, because this is about, I have it in front of me, this is about 20,000 higher than it is this year, just for.
It did go up, yeah,
More than that, it's, this year, we were budgeted at 47,000, so it went up quite a bit.
it did.
You voted in a COLA, so. That will affect it.
Anybody have any questions on this one?
So we simply need to budget for this amount, there's nothing else we need to do with it.
Right.
Yeah, this is what. I think it's. Burning down as much as possible. Okay, so we'll be ready to vote on this then for next week. then?
Yes, it's a non-negotiable that you
Yeah.
have to sign it. It's a, yeah, it's mandatory. It's Act 205 funding obligation that you have to sign. Yep. But it is, Josh, on the numbers I gave you. Just so you know. It's in
Let's
there.
add it in, yeah.
It was in.
Oh, it was?
We did. Yeah, we added that in.
Oh, okay,
Yep,
all right,
yep.
all right, that's good.
Okay, the next one, the Griffin Pond, $120 a
I
pet.
don't know if you remember this 2022, 23, this was discussed. So I just got a call from the Griffin Pond Animal Shelter, and they wanted to warn us that we're going to be getting a bill. It was a little over $1,800. We're gonna be charged, we get charged $120 per pet. I don't know if you remember this or not, but. And we had an agreement with them that we would only surrender 5 pets a year, so that's how we budgeted. Well, we had a hoarding situation in the borough, that I believe they said there were 9 animals. We just recently had, I believe, 4 kittens that our police brought. It came to, there were 15. And it is also, just in case anybody questions, there was, I found an email from Virginia to determine, obviously, Clark Summit, people don't know that it's 7 boroughs and townships, and each one has their own council, their own budget. So they are aware of that. So these are actually Clark Summit Borough animals. So we are going to be getting a bill for 15. And we did have an agreement of sorts with them that we would do 5 pets. I did talk to Kevin Yakaskis about this, just so he is aware.
Right.
Really there really isn't much of an answer. What do you do then? I don't know, and they don't know, and nobody really knows, but it's more of, I just wanted to give council a heads up. And like I said, this hoarding situation that we had, that really bumped the numbers up. So.
Right. Because the community page is helpful when people start posting animals on there. It
Mhm.
seems like families find their pet quickly, but
Yep.
what do they do? They
I know,
find the
it's a real tough
pet,
situation.
yeah.
Do we have any ability to fine a homeowner in that situation to try to recoup what ends up being cost to us?
We talked about that, and I don't know, I guess we'd have to see, which we literally talked about that, because the hoarding situation, the person ended up moving back into the property. So it was their property, and we talked about it just half-heartedly, but mentioned it. So I don't know if that, I didn't talk to Drew about it or anything, so.
I could take a look and see if that would fall under any of the ordinances we currently have. I don't think it would with anything that we currently have in place.
So we actually owe them $720 then, Jen?
We owe them, it was 15 times 120, it was 1,800 and something.
Oh, I see, okay.
This is like an informal agreement, there's no contract.
Correct, formal agreement, yeah, you're correct.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
No, it's $120 a pet.
Um,
If you go over 5, if you are 5 or under, what's the story there?
No, it's 120 per pet. We agreed to around 5 a year that the borough would surrender. That means our police generally speaking.
Yeah. So, and in this instance, like we have here, that's a lot of animals there. so,
Right.
Yeah. But,
They're not taking, and I don't know if I'm using the right verbiage, they're not taking surrenders from residents. That's not what this is. This is, something happens, our police have to take the animals there
All
for
right.
one reason.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep. No, they can't. We have nothing to do with that. If a resident wants to surrender a pet, that's up to them. That has nothing to do with us. We don't get billed for that. This is with our police get called, they got called, there were 4 kittens somewhere, they had to bring them. This person had 9 animals.
Yeah.
We had no choice. There was nowhere to put them, so they had to bring them. It's those situations.
Yeah,
Just not residents. We're not going to residents.
it's a tough situation, no doubt about it. Okay, and the next item is our 2020 zoning for, like a date or somewhere where it's.
Yeah, so we just got this in, I believe yesterday, Jen, that's or the day before.
Yesterday.
It's essentially just a suggestion on a draft on if council is interested in looking into any sort of ordinances relative to data centers and kind of limiting those within the borough. I don't believe that there have been any plans in place for any data centers within the borough. It was just a resident or a citizen rather from the county that reached out with a proposal. If that's something that council wants to look at or is interested in, I can draft something that's a little bit more concrete. But that proposal, I would not suggest going with what's written there. I think it needs to be a little bit more detailed and direct with what we have within the borough, limiting data centers.
No, Drew, maybe Jen might be know more about this, but my understanding is SAPA right now is been looking in this for a couple months, at least, like I say, 6 months now.
Right.
And I believe the city of Scranton has doing a curative amendment or something like that. So they're looking at it. They have a moratorium on data centers. So I mean, any sort of work we do, we're kind of behind what SAP is doing, what the city of Scranton's doing. And if Scranton takes the use of data centers, that's something it doesn't become an issue for us in the future. Is that correct or?
Yes, I have not spoken with SAPA, so I'm not familiar with anything that they have done work-wise on this yet. Again, I just reviewed what was proposed by way of that email. So I don't know off the top of my head what SAPA is doing. I can certainly look into that and reach out if you'd like me to, just so the council has an idea of what they are doing on SAPA's end with trying to look into this and put something in writing and put something in place with that.
Maybe you could reach out to Mary Liz Donato.
Donato.
Yes. Yep.
But I mean, I wouldn't right now until we know what they're doing. I wouldn't do anything at this time.
Yeah, I agree.
Who is this gentleman that sent this and what is his interest? I mean, obviously his interest is not to have data centers in the area, but what is his, association or affiliation? Do we know?
I believe he's a citizen of Lackawanna County. I don't believe he's a resident of the borough. But I know that he's vocal about, anti-data centers within the county as a whole. And I'm not sure what the impetus was for him to send this to Clark Summit. But I don't know anything else besides that.
We can even check and see if any of the other girls got the same notification.
They did. A bunch of boroughs. He did. He mass sent that out. Yes.
So he just flooded everybody with. Oh, it definitely is. Mhm. Agenda for next week. Is anybody have any comments on that? And, just wanted to let all council members know that our Park Summit Rose Pink was over the top. And everybody just flocked in. Our police did a great job. Everything is wonderful, it really was.
It was phenomenal. It was so well run. I can't
Yes,
say
it
enough
was.
good things about the
They did a
event.
terrific job planning.
State Street for hours was packed. This guy was here. The streets were filled with families. Wasn't that a beautiful day?
really nice.
It was good to
Yeah.
see. The whole town was filled with families. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone that worked so hard for that day.
Exactly, yeah.
Jerry walked.
Yeah, because I said to my daughter, I said, would you sign up with me? I said, walking or running? She said, no, you're not gonna run any. She said, I'll sign up to make sure you don't.
I cheered.
You have to keep an eye on yourself.
So I did walk.
My daughter ran. I cheered.
I know she
But
did.
honestly, it was so nice to see all the streets filled with families for a positive, great day like that. It was beautiful.
Exactly,
And the
yeah.
Knicks, that was filled with people out for hours all day, right? It's crowded.
Yeah,
It's nice.
yeah. All the merchants were happy with everything, so. I mean, everybody happy. And, we also had a good Park Summit Day down at PNC Field on Sunday. Bob was.
Yeah, it was a good first pitch if you're there, Mrs. Carey. Straight, right down the middle.
Oh, gosh, yeah, it was funny because, Anthony, who usually, would meet me, it was, Nicole that met me, and so when I walked in, Anthony said, well, Jerry, you're back again this year? I said, yeah, he said, well, guess what, we've been talking about this. Would you mind being our backup pitcher in case something happened? I said, well, I said,
Do it.
put me down.
That's reasonable.
But it was good.
And
though.
Stacy Lang from WMP came too. I guess she was Miss
Yes.
Comet a few years ago, so.
Exactly, yeah, so, I mean, it was a good turnout for Park Summit.
Yeah.
So that did work out good. Bob, did you have any of the little flags?
They all went. They all they gave them away at the end, so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good enough, then, that was our goal. So. Okay, well,
So we're gonna conclude and go into executive session?
exactly.
See ya. Take care. All right, Drew, you're gonna stay, but I have to take us off live.
And just for the record, we're going into executive session for purposes of personnel discussions and contract negotiations.
Oh, isn't this gonna be fun?
Jen, did you keep one of these for yourself?
I did.
Thank you.
Oh.
I don't know if it was as easy as that.